Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today is our pragmatic class. Now we will talk about one of the interesting topics in pragmatic studies. It called cooperative principle, prinsip kerjasama. I have compiled from many sources, so you have to pay attention to this material. Let's see. Okay, cooperative principle, the idea that people cooperate with each other in conversing. Ya, itu pengertiannya. The idea that people cooperate with each other in conversing is generalized by Paul Greece, 1975. Okay, the principle is make your conversational contribution such as is required gitu at the stage at which it occurs by the accepted purpose or direction of the thought exchange in which you are engaged. Yeah. Specifically, there are 4 maxims under this general principle. But before we go to the maxim, you have to know that Greece says that when we communicate, we assume without realizing it that we and the people we are talking to will be conversationally cooperative. We will cooperate to achieve mutual conversational ends. Okay, and then Greece also proposed that many aspects of the speaker's meaning result from the assumption that the participants in the conversation are cooperating in an attempt to reach mutual goals, or at least are pretending to do so. So it's a little bit complicated when we talk about the meaning because of the context, because pragmatics is the study of the context, as you know. Okay, usually when we speak, the listener expect us to say the truth and to be relevant and clear. And the English philosopher Paul Gray suggested that in ordinary conversation, the speaker and the hearer share a cooperative principle itu gitu. Jadi dia saling berbagi untuk memenuhi prinsip kerjasama di antara dua penutur, si speaker and the hearer. Speakers shape their utterance to be understood by hearers, ya. And then Greece analyze cooperative principle in 4 maxims: quantity, quality, relevance, and manner. Mari kita lihat satu-satu. Let's check. Okay, maxim 1 is quality, and then quantity, and then relation, and then manner. Have you ever heard about them? Let's see one by one. Here are the general explanation of them. The cooperative principle, maxims of conversation. Quantity, jumlah, say neither more nor less than the discourse requires. Bagaimana apa yang dibutuhkan oleh hearer? Mungkin dia bertanya, maka jawablah sesuai dengan yang diharapkan. And the relevance, pastikan dia berhubungan, relevant. And the manner, be brief and orderly, ya. And then avoid ambiguity and obscurity. And then the last one, quality, do not lie, do not make unsupported claims. Itu prinsipnya. Kita lihat satu-satu. Maxim of quality, try to make your contributions once is true. Remember, the key word is true. It's true. Do not say what you believe is false. Do not say that for which you lack adequate evidence. Example: my children are so well behaved. The truth is, I'm aware and embrace that they are not well behaved. We will know that ada terjadi di sini. Nanti maksim itu ada yang membuat dia menjadi breaking, ya. Ada 5, 2 diantaranya itu floating dan violating. Semacam pelanggaran atau penyimpangan gitu. Itu kita akan bahas lebih lanjut. Kalau floatingnya berarti dia certain intonation. Kalau violatingnya dia berbohong, even secret lie. Oke, nanti kita akan masuk. And then maxim of quantity, make your contribution as informative as is required for the current purpose of the exchange. No more or less informative gitu, tidak lebih dan tidak kurang. Contoh, what did you have for lunch today? Orang nanya apa, speaker A bertanya, makan siangnya apa nih hari ini? Speaker B said, I had cottage cheese. Apa yang terjadi? Floated or violated if the speaker also had pizza and banana split gitu. Menjadi bohong dia kalau ternyata makanannya ada yang lain gitu ya. Nah, itu quantity. Maxim of relevance, when can you hand your paper in? Lalu dijawab oleh si B, it's a beautiful day. It's not relevant. Implikaturnya muncul di situ. I don't want to answer your question. Jadi implikaturnya yang si B itu tidak mau menjawab pertanyaan si A secara relevan, nggak nyambung gitu. Maka ini sebuah strategi. Maka dia memakai implikator. Floatednya, answer is not relevant, but hearer will catch the irrelevance. Violatednya, speaker hopes that listener doesn't catch the irrelevant gitu. Ini sering kita temui in daily communication. The third one is maxim of manner. Constraint of language use is yang harusnya kita hindari dalam rangka maxim of manner ini supaya tidak terjadi pelanggaran adalah you have to avoid ambiguity gitu, keraguan-raguan, kata-kata yang bermakna ganda atau makna yang bikin ragu itu harus dihindari. Avoid obscurity juga, be brief, be orderly gitu, jelas. Example, parent, who broke the vase? Siapa yang memecahkan vas bunga? Kata anaknya, it was one of your two children. Salah satu dari dua anakmu, Ma, kata dia. Implikaturnya ya dia nggak mau jawab, padahal bisa jadi pelakunya dia atau adiknya, tapi dia suka melakukan pelanggaran di manner ini. Dia tidak menjawab, harusnya kan jawab aja saya atau adik saya gitu, tapi dia menjawab it was one of your children. That's the way of the speaker, do not answer the questions. Nah, kita lihat floating itu apa. Floating grace maxim itu maksudnya breaking the maxims is referred to as floating the maxims. Sometimes we are conscious that we may float the maxims. I'll try to be brief, tapi kenyataannya kita nggak to the point. Sorry to repeat myself, but itu floating. Floating the maxim may cause difficulties in conversation, of course. Someone talking at length and going around the house may cause frustration. Nah, itu maksud dari orang yang suka menjawab pertanyaan berbelit-belit gitu. Dia melakukan floating the maxims gitu. Ada dua ya yang cukup, dia ada 5 sebenarnya. Breaking the maxim itu ada floating, ada violating, ada infringing, ada opting out, ada suspending. Tapi violating and floating ini paling sering ya. Jadi kalau violating means that we break the maxims covertly so that other people do not know. Nah, if we violate the maxim of quality, we lie. Dengan bohong berarti kita sudah melakukan violating maxim. If we violate the maxim of quantity by not giving enough information, misalnya di mana rumahnya, nah kita menjawab bertele-tele dan tidak sesuai harapan, nah, maka we violate the maxim of quantity. If someone finds out, we can be accused of being economical with the truth, ya. Violating the maxim amounts to breaking them illegally, just as people who still are guilty of loss. Ya, ini contohnya seperti yang di persidangan, katanya berbohong di persidangan. Itu tidak boleh. But what lies, itu yang bohong putih katanya itu, small lies to keep the social peace, itu biasanya lebih bisa diterima ya. Next, violating a maxim, this means that we break the maxim so that other people do not know. Diulang lagi kesimpulannya. If we violate the maxim of quality, we lie. If we violate the maxim of quantity by not giving enough information. Kita pasti sering melakukan ini, ya kan? di kehidupan sehari-hari, entah itu tujuannya bercanda atau bagaimana. Nah, bisa Anda lihat di sini. What did Laura do when she heard that Laurie's boat had arrived? Laura ran to the pier and jumped. Nah, lihat di sini. Deliberate and apparent violence of maxim is called floating. We do not expect the maxim to be violated. Floating must be motivated, kata dia. Inference obtained from floating of maxims are called implicators. Ya, implikator itu yang menjadi reasonnya, apa yang dilakukannya itu. The woman in red may be implicating that Laurie is Laura's namesake. Nah, itu implikatornya gitu. Lalu kita lihat contoh lagi. Liz, can I have John's number? Yes. Dia kan cuma nanya, bisakah saya dapat nomornya si John? Ya, tapi dia nggak nyebut nomornya kan, jadi cuma jawab iya. In case such as this, what might infer that Liz doesn't have the number with her and will supply it later. Why? Because we do not expect the maxim to be violated. The apparent violation must be motivated. Deliberate and apparent violation is called floating. Ini yang disebut dengan floating ya. Lalu, Jim, do you know where the Big Ben clock tower is? It's in London. Ya, you might find this normal. Pasti Anda akan mikir gampang. Kalau di contoh bahasa kitanya gini, jam gadang itu di mana sih? Ya di Bukit Tinggi. Nah, jawabnya kayak gitu kesal kan? Maksudnya kita mau nanya, iya di mananya? Oh, di Pasar Atas, di depan Gedung Ramayana, di depan ini, maunya kan gitu ya. Padahal di sini lagi terjadi si Jim ini jawabannya ini doesn't contribute what he believes and to be false and to be unsubstantiated gitu. Contohnya kalau dia jawab yang lain, misalnya di Hong Kong. Pernah dengar nggak dulu orang kalau jawab di mana? Di Hong Kong. Dari mana aja? Dari Hong Kong. Itu maksudnya dia mencoba, dia nggak mau jawab gitu, tapi dia mencoba untuk bermain-main dengan maxim, dengan tidak tercapainya tuturan dari pertanyaan yang menurutnya itu nggak penting untuk dijawab. He is polite man and works on time. Daniel, is Morgan, ini pertanyaannya ini ya. Daniel, is Morgan good as a finance manager? He is polite man and works on time. Nah, ini maksudnya gimana? Inference obtained from floating of maxim or implicator. Ya, maksud Daniel bisa jadi begini. Morgan is no good as financial manager. Bisa jadi begitu. Karena bisa jadi jawaban orang itu kadang dia mencemooh atau dia menyindir atau ada sarkasme di situ, ada komedi atau apa maksudnya yang tidak serius gitu. Jadi makanya betul-betul sesuai dengan konteks dan antara si speaker and hearer itu jelas gitu tuturannya. Kan jelas nih, Daniel, apakah Morgan itu seorang manajer finansial yang baik? Dia orang yang jujur dan kerjanya tepat waktu. Nah, padahal maksudnya dia no good. Kenapa nggak dijawab aja langsung yes he is or no he is not. Nah, itu kecenderungan manusia dalam bertutur, berkomunikasi. Nah, ini contoh lain. Floating the maxim of quality. Teacher to student who arrive late more than 10 minutes in the class. Wow, you are such a punctual fellow. Welcome to the class. Gitu kan sering kita lihat sindiran-sindiran seperti ini. Lalu si anak pasti akan merasa gitu, sorry sir, it won't happen again. Nah, padahal tuturan dari si guru menyindir gitu ya. It is obvious, jelas sekali from what teachers say that he is teasing the student on his purpose, by no means praising him. Gak ada maksud sama sekali untuk memuji, karena itu sindiran. Nah, bagaimana dengan violation of the maxim of quantity? John, where have you been? I searched everywhere for you during the past 3 months. Kata si Mike, I wasn't around, so what's the big deal? John posed a question which he needs to be answered by Mike. What Mike says in return doesn't lack the truth, however, is still insufficient. Mike jawabannya nggak banget gitu. Jawabannya mungkin nggak lack the truth gitu atau lie gitu ya, itu violation. Nah, ini floatingnya Maxim ya, as you can read kata si interviewnya. Did the government promise teachers a rise and didn't start any legal procedures about it? I would not try to steer you away from that conclusion gitu. Itu banyak meaningnya ya. Bisa Anda baca di sini keterangannya. Reasons for violation. If someone want to deceive the listener. Contoh, what is the military budget? President, could you keep a secret? Yes. So can I. I can keep a secret too. Ya kan? Kita bisa bermain dengan bahasa gitu. Anda bisa jaga rahasia? Ya, saya juga. It means dia nggak mau jawab. Nah, gitu. Jadi dia melakukan violation. Nah, this is some practice for you. Coba ditebak, nanti diskusi ya. What is violating? Floating. Ini versus. Ini maxim of apa kira-kira? The boy has been playing games for hours when the mother asked, did you study all day long? Yes, I've been studying till now. Itu kata si anak, padahal dia lagi main game. That's violating. Bagaimana dengan floating? Teacher to student who arrives late more than 10 minutes. Wow, you're so punctual fellow. Welcome to the class. Sorry sir, it won't happen again. Anda bisa tebak ini maksim apa tentunya. Nah, ini mana yang floating, mana yang violation, and maxim apa? Did you enjoy the party last night? Kata si Sarah. Itu kan jelas ya pertanyaannya ya. Jawabannya, there was a plenty of oriental food on the table, lots of the flowers all over the place, people hanging around, chatting with each other. Tebak saja itu masuk mana. Terus ada seorang istri bilang, darling, what's the story with that new watch on your wrist? Cerita apa nih dengan jam tangan baru katanya. Oh, this watch you're talking about. I knew it. I told my boss that my wife would be curious when she see it. Oh honey, you have no idea how much they're satisfied with the performance lately. Pasti Anda juga mengerjakan kening seperti saya. You can easily guess what is it. Okay, next. Bob, what were you and Anna talking about? You were looking at me all the time. Oh well, why don't you get something to drink? Ya, gak nyambung. Bob, are you avoiding this conversation? There has to be something going on about me. Why aren't you brave enough to tell me? Well, you know, they think that they are one who stole the money. Gak nyambung nih si Mary, ya kan? Teacher, why didn't you do your homework? Kenapa nggak bikin PR? May I go and get some water? I'm so thirsty. Oke. Kelewatan ya, nggak nyambungnya ya. Oke, next. Terakhir, did you enjoy the party last night? Oh, ini yang tadi. Oke. Where are you, Majid? I'm in my clothes. Nah, ini sering nih orang kita. Lagi di mana? Lagi di hatimu. Lagi di mana? Lagi dalam baju. Kan gitu. That I know, kata Ali. I mean seriously. Where are you, man? Well, at work, but I'll be finished in 2 hours. Baru dijawab dia ya. Where have you been? I searched everywhere for you during the past 3 months. I wasn't around, so what's the big deal? Nyebelin ya. Oke. Di samping saya bilang floating and violating in breaking the maxims, ada 3 lagi. Ada infringing, ada opting out, and suspending and maxim. Infringing, a person infringes a maxim when they don't speak the language well, make a mistake, or they are insane, drunk, or impaired in some way, or lack of knowledge. Itu bisa juga menyebabkan infringing the maxim. Kita lihat sekilas aja ya. And then opting out itu maksudnya a speaker opts out of observing a maxim whenever she or he indicates unwillingness. Kata kuncinya, unwillingness to cooperate in the way the maxim requires. Sengaja dia nggak mau gitu. Ya, silakan dilihat. Detektif, has the defendant ever told she hate her father and want him dead? Such information is confidential and it would be unethical to share it with you. Yeah, that opting out. The last one is suspending. sometimes there is no need to opt out a maxim because the context makes it understandable that the speaker would not conform to the maxim. A good example might be an accused person remaining silent at the trial, ya. There is no need to opt out and no implication. Ini disebut dengan suspending. Occurs when the participant have no expectation that the maxim will be observed. Nah, itu namanya suspending. Oke, thank you. Anda lihat tulisan thank you di sini penuh dengan maksud ya. Silakan ditebak maksudnya gimana, pemilihan fontnya, latar gambarnya atau bagaimana. That's the way pragmatics play the role in our daily communication. Okay, I hope you understand. If you have a question, you can ask me in our next discussion. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.